So we're allowed to use it for shelter though, aren't we?
You've got a spanner that could move this back.
Yeah, can we borrow some tools just to move it a few feet that way?
Put it on wheels, isn't it?
Or just to the end of like this bit will do, like just on the corner.
Pence a page, do over 100% 7 times.
It's supposed to light up this every time we go. Yeah, it's turning the power up at the same time.
Yeah, you keep going.
All the fucking.
And where are you from? So, what are you trying to achieve today? It's a long time ago, isn't it? And several people already have been jailed in the past. So what's happening now?
7 years is not a suitable jail sentence to start. A lot of the crimes didn't come out originally because nobody was interviewed about them. Nothing was done to investigate. For example, child trafficking into poor areas. I personally was trafficked from Halifax down to North Wales. And they didn't even come to me for an interview or anything when we started investigating Halifax the first time round. I have never been questioned about abuses in Halifax apart from when I took myself to the police and made my video statement in 2013. And after I did that, the police said no further action.
So, were you in Skircote Lodge?
Yes, I was.
Yeah. What year was that then?
That was in 1989. I was sent there when I was 14.
Yeah. What happened to you then? Can you explain that, summarise that for us?
Personally, in Skircote Lodge, I wasn't sexually abused. That came later when I was sent down to North Wales. I was mentally abused, physically abused, and I spent the year that I lived there in absolute terror of the guy. And then he trafficked me down to North Wales. In North Wales, the Brynellan community, Skircote Malcolm Phillips sent 10 girls that we know of, all blonde-haired, blue-eyed, aged 12 to 15, to Brynellan community. Malcolm Phillips' predilection was prepubescent girls. Now, generally, you would take the cut off of that to be 12.
How old were you then?
I was 14. I was 15 when I went down there.
Yeah. And when did this all end? Presumably when you were old enough to leave the home?
It all ended when I got out of care in '92. When they threw me out and left me with no money to live off for several months. Well, after I employed a solicitor to discharge my care order, and I enrolled in college and sorted out fresh 3 days a week for my son. Within 24 hours I had the decision to I was moving back to Halifax. I pulled up at my new children's home with my son in my arms to be greeted by Malcolm Phillips, stood on the doorstep of the kids' home, to tell me a good girl in North Wales, keep your mouth shut, you're spoiled, I'll look after. That, to me, said they knew what I had been sent to North Wales for, even at 16.
How old are you now, Mary?
I am now 40.
40? Yeah. Fine. And you make the point you think that some people who were involved in the problems over those years are still working in the system.
Yes, they are. The last I knew of, at least one member of staff from Skircup Lodge was working under her married name in one of the private homes in Coaldale. Not council homes, private run establishments. I found an advert yesterday online from Keys Childcare. Now Keys is one of the main employers for residential childcare within this country. It's one of the key providers. The advert said part-time, full-time and bank staff. Bank staff is technically moonlighting and doesn't go on paper. That is staff that work at a kids' home and are called into other homes that are short on staff.
But
it doesn't go down as them being staff of that home.
No, but obviously so much more is known now about the system. If you have real improvements being made, are the people being brought to...
The advert went on to state no experience necessary as on-the-job training will be given to work with children.
But what can be done now to, if you like, weed these people out? What do you want? What sort of action do you want?
I want a full proper inquiry. I want to know who they're still protecting, because somebody's being protected, because everything has been scrubbed from Hansard and the files are closed for 100 years. Why? For what reason? Who are they still protecting?
And for you, Calderdale and Skircote was one of the worst black spots?
In my life, yes, and for quite a few other people as well, yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Surprising a bit.
A lot of the victims were why never even had council themselves stated it was done thoroughly. Well, no, it wasn't. I want them to try again. Must try harder.
What specifically do you want them to do?
I want them to properly investigate the trafficking, the fact that Phillips was found with Rod Ryle hiding in Skircup Lodge when he was a wanted man, wanted for crimes against children. I want them to properly investigate the paedophile information exchange connections, the Jimmy Savile connections, the Nottingham connections.
They would argue that work is going on to investigate all those things at the moment.
Not once have they come back to me about any of the trafficking.
What's your experience? Were you at Skircup Lodge?
Yes, I was.
Can you tell me some of your experience?
He was a very violent man who loved people to live in fear. He thrived off fear. I spent most of my time absconding from Skircup Lodge just so I didn't have to be there and live in that kind of environment.
He was prosecuted in jail though, wasn't he?
7 years. That's not enough. And he wasn't prosecuted for half of his crimes. He wasn't prosecuted or even questioned about trafficking. And I'm sorry, 10 girls, all blonde-haired, blue-eyed, between 12 and 15, all sent to one home in North Wales. That is trafficking. In any standard. That is a very specific demographic of child to send. And when I came back from North Wales, he said to me, "You've been a good girl in Wales. Keep your mouth shut and you and your boy will be well looked after." That said to me he knew what I'd been sent for.
Do you feel the problem is still ongoing in Calderdale, or are these specifically historical allegations you're talking about?
It's still ongoing everywhere. It's all right them saying that there's nobody working at the council now that worked then. There are still private homes that do not come under the council employment structure. So they don't know that they're there because they're not employed by the council. They're employed privately.
So is it the police that you're asking to do?
No, it's the council. I'm asking them to do their job properly. Admit that they made a mess of it last time. Admit they didn't actually do it properly last time because they didn't question everyone. They didn't look at all the charges. They just swept half of it under the carpet.
How confident are you that you can achieve some of your aims here today?
It's taken me 3 years to get to this point. Yeah, it's getting there. It's slowly taking off. It's slowly gaining momentum. We will get this done.
The council says it's worked closely with you over the last 18 months to address your concerns.
No, they haven't. I had a couple of phone calls from them. They got me my records. That was it. They've done nothing to work with me. I'd love to know how they think they work with me.
Why is it so important to you that these historical allegations are continuing to be investigated?
To stop it keep on happening again and again and again. Because it won't stop until it's investigated properly. It can't stop. The policy providers now are operated under a company that was established by a man that is currently on trial for crimes against children in the 80s. Because it's an ongoing trial, I won't name him. That would be sub judice.
Your concern is that
The policies are provided by the company he set up for over 200 safeguarding boards across the country.
and your message to Calderdale Council today?
Sort it out. Do it properly. Must try harder. Thank you. Yeah, night. How's it going? Yeah, not bad. Good enough. Have some leaflets.
Oh, thank you very much. Just what I need.
So that's BBC being and done. Fucking ITV being and done. Great. Yeah, okay.
I'm just asking you on
I know it's not the kind of thing you call them, but you are a cow.
Don't you on mic?
Yeah, I know.
Better way to do it.
Yes, you need to.
That was fine. How will you now? I don't turn it off.
Yeah, I think there was that.
Just said.
phone him up.
I've tried to ask people to not stand in front of this panel.
I think she means you as well, Rich.
In front of the panel to move. I better move. She must be your beard.
Shout if you can speak and I'll fight back.
Yeah.
Just going down for a pint. You're going down to thingy for a pint.
Hey Mickey, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Everything coming along nicely, is it?
Well, it is because today I was just speaking to one of the police sergeants that's on duty today, and I've reported a crime because during my time in care I went to live with my grandparents in Wakefield, and a replica of my childcare documents from Nottingham was sent to Wakefield. Just like everything, it's disappeared. Well, today the sergeants have assured me that this is a serious data protection issue, and he will be in touch with me over the weekend, and we'll get the relevant police department in West Yorkshire to look into it. So West Yorkshire, Wakefield, you better look out, because just like Nottingham, we're going to expose you, and we're going to come to Wakefield to see you, just like we have today in Halifax. Like, you're all guilty, you're all hiding paedophiles, and you might as well go and do one, because we're coming for you.
Fantastic, Vicky. Good on you.
You're all going for a pint, aren't you?
Oh, can we go sit down? Right, so go for a beer. You're not going to start getting...
No. Just go for a beer, quick meeting. That's where we all go from here.
Just to turn you away.
Should we go back to the bar?
I'll go home.
Back to the bar. Okay.
But up until then, they've been destroying files left, right and centre. Way after the inquiry was announced. That should have been one of the very first things that they did, was stop shredding files. But they still didn't do it.
So definitely, what's your theory on this?
Well, my theory is that it's very important that we get to find as many of these records as possible. I think council's computers should be seized in some instances, and maybe that those hard disks should be handed over to some experts who can try and recover those files. We hear that there's a way of recovering a lot of them now.
There is, it's very true. Another question for you here. Hang on, it's gone blank. Hang on, I'll edit this.
You sure?
So,
oh, hang on a minute.
But I still like golf.
I'm not going to.
Hey, I like edit that. What was it now? Sorry, the documents. Oh yeah, the NSPCC doing the police's conduct inquiry. So Nigel, another question is, it's starting to, well, it's easily shown now that the NSPCC, with all their failings, have been given a massive part in the Goddard inquiry.
They've been given a massive part of running all of the helplines. They recently put out bids for other people to come along and run them, but in effect they'd already given the NSPCC so much money and such an advantage that there was no way they would fail to get the next lot of funding for that.
Do you personally trust, I mean, you've been at this since what, the early 80s?
Yes, I've been at this since 1986.
Tirelessly. So what's your theory really on what the NSPC are? Are they good, are they bad, are they reliable?
Well, I think the NSPCC, like any organisation, has its good parts and its bad parts. It certainly didn't act correctly back in the 80s and in the 90s. What it's doing now, I've heard good reports of some people who've contacted their helplines, and I've heard indifferent reports as well. So again, it's a large organisation, and when you give a large organisation these things, instead of setting up local helplines which could give local information to local police and then feed into the inquiry, then I don't think these helplines are going to do much good.
There's a bit of a rumour out there that someone's put Nottingham City Council and Nottingham County Council up for sale on Gumtree. Do you know anything about that?
I don't know anything about that, but what I'm going to do is I'll certainly have a look at it.
Yeah, apparently the price is 78 million. That's for all the golden handshakes, the compensation for survivors, and mainly I reckon most of that money would be going for the defence of Courier. What are the other names again? Well, all the top brass. I'll say it loud.
Well, that's for Nottingham City Council to deal with.
Well, apparently
what I can say is that at the moment, in a few weeks' time, Nottingham's going to be opening the first male survivors hospital in the country, which I've set up myself. And I'm grateful for the support I'm getting, I must say, from some people in Nottingham, like Paddy Tipping, like John Mann, like Graham Allen. And it's great to see that the MPs and the Police and Crime Commission have come on board.
Well, it looks like things can happen amongst all this terrible things that have been happening.
They can if we work together.
If we all work
if
together.
we all work together and work hard.
Excellent. Well, we're here with Russell Burton.
Hiya guys,
Didn't expect this, did you?
I didn't.
Right on the spot. Do you want to add anything to what Nigel said?
I'm only just on the back end of what Nigel was saying. Where were you guys? But what I would like to see is out there to social media. We need you guys involved in this, guys. Let me tell you, you can never ever be a freeman if we sweep this under the carpet. You don't deserve your common law if we do not defend this. If we defend this, people, it's winner takes all. We must defend this. We must defend children before anything else in this country. The children must be defended.
So I couldn't agree more with you. I mean, if we don't exercise our rights, is basically what you're saying.
If we don't exercise our rights, what is going to happen to all of our children over the next 10 years? They're going to be subverted into a control system which is lawful paedophilia. It's coming, people. It's coming through Common Court. It's coming through Tavistock. We've been talking to the police officers here today, and what a great bunch of police officers they have actually been. We feel we made some strides with these police officers, but we need you, social media. We need to stop the bickering, and we need to join behind one cause. This man is one of those causes. Get involved, people, and we can win this. We can win this.
Great words, Russell.
You're more than welcome.
Get in there. What are you doing here anyway, you? Come on.
I get around.
Yeah, I'll do that.
It's amazing what you find on social media. Oh yeah. Apparently I was suicidal last year, the police were notified of it, and they brought it up in a protection conference 2 weeks ago.
What?
And I said, well, if you thought I was suicidal last year, why did you do nothing
why
about
didn't
it?
somebody come to your home and say you were okay?
Yeah.
Bastards.
So you had to give me a little steady here, didn't you, when I was in Doncaster, because I was getting a bit frustrated. On camera,
You like it, eh?
local paper being filmed me, and I'm like, fuck it. Don't stick a camera in my face and expect me
So what's going on now then, Kaz? Is
We're going to have a quick meeting and discuss where we'll go from there, and then we're all away.
Okay.
Getting alright?
So that's it for the moment here then.
Yep.
And it's been alright, it's been nice. Police have been marvellous, fantastic.
That's all fucking set up because no one, especially a law, would not go to a magistrate court for fucking wasting case. You know what I mean? That's set up to make you look like he's lost his marbles. Nothing wrong with it. Well, it knows to hold on to the safety thing. Exactly. I can't pull the chain.
That's what I'm saying, they can't release the court. Only for the court when the witnesses are giving statements.
Does he lose his law? Yeah, he should have been sent down when he got sent down. You know what he's just a court, isn't he? He's just a court. A lord would
efforts to try to avoid this being here in person. Stop messing about.
I bet he had a makeup artist on him today making him look all ragged.
Domino's starting to fall now.
I think it's definitely starting to fall, mate. I really do.
That's why I'm doing I'm being today because we know that it's not you can't keep it in there. We don't want to be behind.
I really do think we're getting there.
Yeah. Take
He's shown inclination and willing to dig. He fucking got his pants and fucking going to sit his head and slapped someone. That just is looking at our colleague and it should be prosecuted in death at Sky News. Anybody else? What? He's saying, anybody else? Say what?
No, because I don't know what I said. This a 93-year-old
The mate, she was a lot worse than this in Doncaster, I can assure you.
Do you want to get one of Russell about today? No, about today and the police going to do Wakefield.
Yeah, we'll get all the cars and you said bring whoever in, and I'll just sit down with everybody and I'll get a couple of cameras going and then build it up from there. Just let it flow. Yeah, no problem, mate. No problem. What's it like? Have you been in the back there?
It's quiet. It's a cool table.
It's quiet, yeah. Whatever anyone's ready. Have a chat and see whoever wants to jump on.